Welcome to Entertainment Up Close. I am your host, Natalia Bilbao.
And I'm your co-host, Veronica Ocasio.
And we're super excited to be talking about entrepreneurial ventures.
Yes.
I'm curious, have you ever done anything in that regard?
Funny you ask, about 2 years ago, I did start my own business in the wine industry. I'm a sommelier. So it's been very intense, but very rewarding. And I look forward to seeing what the future holds.
Well, I don't know what the future holds, but the present holds. Tyrone Jackson, welcome to Entertainment Up Close. We're super excited to have you here. Tell us about your journey of becoming a media mogul in the making.
Well, first of all, thank you both for having me on your show. I really do appreciate it. You know, that's a big title, media mogul in the making, but it's true. So, you know, it's so funny because when I was growing up, I always wanted to be in show business. I didn't know what that was, but my mother goes, there's this thing called show business and you're going to be in it. And I just felt that that was the life for me. Just like anybody else who ventures into this crazy business, I was singing and dancing for family and orchestrating, you know, plays.
Little
in the
plays with your cousins, that sort of thing. I did the
and
same
you
thing.
don't know why you're doing that when you're truly an entertainer. You're just doing it.
Right.
And then my mother goes, you know, this is the thing my mother told me, that there was a camp for show business, like a showbiz camp. And she said, if you're going to be in show business, you have to fill out an application. I was like, really?
How old were you when she said that? I'm like, how?
I was like 7. So I was like, so you fill out an application, then what happens? Then you give it to the right people. And if they select you, you'll be in show business.
Was this a real thing?
This is a true thing.
And you believed it as a 7-year-old, obviously.
Well, you believe everything as a 7-year-old.
Exactly.
So I kept saying, where is my application for show business? Because like, I don't want to be late. Like, if you got to get it in there, let's get it in there.
Time is of the essence.
Correct.
Yes.
But apparently, in my family, there were a lot of people who wanted to be in show business because they used to perform at church. So that is kind of show business. They were up in front of the crowd doing singing and, you know, their gospel riffs and all of that. That wasn't me, but I just love performing for other people.
That's wonderful. I really love that your family was already in the industry in one way or another, and that they were supportive of your vision. A lot of people don't come from that, and
Correct.
their visions for their child or their son or their daughter are so different
Yes.
from what the person really wants to pursue.
Correct. Well, we had a rule in my house because we grew up with very little money. My mother's like, you could do anything you want as long as it doesn't cost me anything.
Oh,
So
lovely.
So, right, exactly.
like,
and
wow,
I'm
the
like,
pressure.
right, okay. I mean, if we have no money, there's always a class at a library. So I always found those acting classes and storytelling classes at the library because that's where you got training for free. And so it wasn't, somehow I learned that performing wasn't just about performing. You had to have training. So entertainers have training, and that's the skill that you were charging money for, right? So I knew I needed to be trained, and the library was free.
Where did you grow up? Where were you doing these trainings? Where was this library?
Well,
Was it in like Idaho, or was it?
I want to go to this library. I want to get some training.
Well, it's not very fancy. You just had to read the newspaper back then.
Okay.
And they would say free acting class because the government had money for that. And you'd show up and you'd meet other people who had the dream of being in show business too. And you wanted to say to them, no, I really am going to do it.
Right.
I don't know.
Like, no, I don't care about you guys.
Right. I'm really going to be, because this is my thing. I'm just starting here. So like a lot of people, I got started in community theater because how else are you going to learn lighting and staging and blocking and all of those things? And you just volunteered on the weekend. So somebody was like, carry that lighting case. You're like, I'm in show business.
But where was this? Where in the world were you growing up, and where was all of this taking place?
Well, for me, I grew up in a place called Staten Island, New York.
We've
Yeah.
heard of it.
And
Yes.
they had community theater. They just didn't have community theater that catered to African American people. So I couldn't be in some of the shows because there were no parts.
Right.
So I wound up running the lights and doing everything you do to run a theater company, not knowing that ultimately I would be producing TV. But that's how you get started, right?
Look at you representing for Staten Island,
Yeah,
one of
that
the
was-
boroughs in New York. Don't they? Don't the boroughs?
Thank you for
Yes.
being proper. You have to be proper. Hey.
You do have to be proper.
Don't they refer to that borough sometimes as the
The
forgotten
forgotten-
borough?
Oh,
They refer to it as forgotten because there are things that go on there that involved a little organized crime.
Oh,
And you could get away with Staten Island because everybody paid attention to Manhattan, the Bronx,
right.
and the rest of the city. Staten Island was like,
Like, oh.
whatever goes on there. It's like, Vegas. Whatever happens in
Oh,
Staten Island
Stays in
okay.
Staten
stays
Island.
there.
Oh,
So
man, and I thought the Bronx
Okay.
was bad. That's why.
no. It was also low key, but they did have community theater.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm so curious. So you said you wanted to be in show business, but you
Mhm.
wanted to sing, perform, and yet you were doing the lights, you were producing. Did that still give you enough of like that keep the fire going? Or
Well,
did
the
you
one
feel
thing
like,
about
oh,
growing up in New York City, if you take the train, and you know this, you take the train somewhere, something big is happening
mm,
in one of those buildings over there. So when the time was right, I knew I'd go to one of those buildings and I'd fill out yet another application.
Another freaking application. Oh,
Somebody
yeah.
over
Applications.
there has to have an application for show business.
Right.
And then I would get paid. So it was
Mm.
fine doing community
Right.
theater, and people
Right.
were very nice, and
Right.
we had cast parties and all that.
Oh,
And
nice.
I didn't know I was learning the building blocks of producing back then.
What a
you
great
go.
start.
Yeah.
Well, so I wanted to know, when was your first big role? What was like your breakthrough? When did you
Right.
know, man, I really did something. This
Yeah.
is,
When did
this
you go
is
from
it.
like
This is-
lights and producing, right? To
Yeah.
then,
So this is what happened. So junior high school where I went to in Staten Island, it had a relationship with a wonderful school called the High School of Performing Arts, and a lot of famous
I've
people
heard of
went
that.
there.
Yep.
Freddie Prinze, Al Pacino, Dom DeLuise, like the big stars of the
Mhm.
day, all got their training at the High School of Performing Arts.
Right.
And I auditioned and I got in. Now, once I got
His
in
application.
I put
Several
in the right
applications.
application at the right time. When I got into performing arts, now we were in the big time because a lot of famous kids had their children going there studying music,
Oh.
dance, drama, and
So
I was going
really-
to their homes, and I was seeing really how rich people who were in show business lived,
Right.
and their kids were following in that tradition. So while I was there, I remember being in like social studies class, and I look across at this cute girl because she was on TV in commercials.
And you remember her from TV and commercials?
Well, she was in my social studies class, and she's
Right.
eating Kraft macaroni and cheese at night on TV. And you go, "How did you get into that?" She goes, "Oh, I had an agent.
There we go.
And if I have an agent, they represent me. And if they like you, they send you to commercial auditions." Got it.
right.
Right. So once I found out through her, and there were other kids who would go to school, they were on soap operas,
Mhm.
they were
Right.
in Broadway shows, but they were normal teens. Right.
Right.
So I thought, why can't that be me? I just have
Yeah.
to find out
Yes.
what the next step is.
So you got information along the way. You picked up some things along the way from peers, classmates.
Correct.
Mhm.
Who was your biggest inspiration or your model growing up
Mhm.
personally
Yeah.
that you know, and in the entertainment business?
Well, personally, it would have to be my father
yeah.
because my father
Go
was
Dad.
charismatic, smart. He understood business. He understood government grants. He
Mm.
understood history. So
Mm.
he would tell me all these things about like, this is how you make it in America. Right. And so he would he always said to me, you have to learn to maneuver in the system. I was like,
Mm.
I
Where's
don't,
he from?
I don't know about all that. I just want to be in show business. Right. But he understood that whatever it is I wanted to pursue, there was probably a business element to it.
right.
So I needed to learn the rules of show business, and then maybe I could succeed. But at that age, there was a singer by the name of James Brown, and he was everywhere.
Mm.
And I don't know how my
Vaguely
parents
familiar.
saved up the money, but we would go see James Brown at the Apollo
Wow.
Theater.
Oh wow.
And when you saw those people on their feet
On their
singing, it's like,
feet.
Oh,
that
my
was
goodness.
like, wow,
Wow.
you could do
you could
that.
feel the
That's
energy.
a
Oh,
time,
yeah.
man. That is an era for sure.
Yes.
Yeah. And then they scraped together money for us to go to Broadway. And then that's when I knew what it is I wanted to do.
Oh wow.
I was sure I was going to be on Broadway. And guess what happened? I was never on Broadway. But the point is,
We were both like, and what play
Tell
were you
me.
on Broadway? Tell us.
so
Never.
when I discovered Broadway musical theater, that means that you had to have vocal training because you were
Mhm.
not going to get on Broadway to do that.
Oh, yeah.
You had to have a dance background, right? And you had to have strong acting chops.
Mhm.
Yes, there's so many components. to
Yeah,
Broadway.
truly.
And to
So-
this day, Broadway is still a tremendous inspiration.
Do you remember which play inspired you the most? Can you share?
Well,
It's like, who's your favorite son or daughter?
I'm going to
But-
sound so old, but my parents were also political. Like, so the first Broadway show I ever saw at 6 was a show called Don't Bother Me, I Can't Cope. And it was a musical that commented on the politics of the day because this was coming out of the 60s.
And you
right?
understood all of this?
No.
At 6?
But I understand people singing and
Who
dancing on
cares?
stage.
Right. It's just
So this whole thing about protesting the government and people's rights, I didn't get all that. I was just looking at that woman going, she sure is pretty.
that sure is
And
sparkly.
she can sing
That's
and
nice.
dance. Can we bring her back for the second act?
That's so
But
cute.
as time goes on, I realized that, the author was telling a story, and
Right.
it was music, it was through text, et cetera,
Right.
and that is a production that was put together. So you learn pretty quickly, even as a young person, like, oh, they were entertaining you and making a political statement at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I didn't know how it all worked, but I knew I wanted
Mhm.
to be a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think I would love to know more about, because we're talking about all the fun and games, getting inspired, but when we come back after the commercial break, I'd love to know more about the struggles, the
Oh.
setbacks, the obstacles, and
Yeah.
how you kept going.
Yes.
We'll be right back.
So what's the reason Beyoncé sparkles when she hits the stage? Because she's trained herself for excellence, musically and physically. Now, with the Body Like B program, you can sculpt your body the same way as Lady B does. Inside the Body Like B program, we have 4 amazing workouts with celebrity trainer Venus Moore. The 4 workouts are glutes, thighs, core, and upper body. Everything you need to be like B. Now, you can use these exclusive Hollywood workouts and get amazing results in 30 days or less. All you have to do is sign up for this amazing program right now. Unlike other complicated workout programs, all you need to complete this workout plan is some space, a mat, dumbbells, and a desire to look great when you walk in a room. Here's a secret you may not know. Part of weight loss is nutrition and diet, cutting carbs and processed sugars. That's why we've included our complete nutritional guide absolutely free. Plus, we've included additional content we know you're gonna love. We've assembled our special team of Hollywood experts to teach you about nutrition and how to eat, how to do your makeup, style your hair, and how to dress like a Hollywood star. Now is the time to look and feel your best, just like Lady B herself. Don't wait. Get started right now.
So we're back at Entertainment Up Close with Tyrone Jackson telling us about his journey to a media mogul in the making, which sounds amazing. But obviously, let's talk about the struggles because it's a long, bumpy road, isn't it?
Yes, it is. So anybody who has ever had a dream and had the courage to go for them, the first thing that you realize you're going to hit is obstacles. And whether that's building an entertainment company, a law firm, or a bagel company, you're going to hear more people go, you can't do it. Or somebody else has already done that, et cetera, et cetera. So you have to prepare yourself mentally for the obstacles that you're going to face, because those obstacles are really where your lessons are.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have the mindset to be able to overcome everybody's objection, but you also have a plan that you have created. So dreams are built one step at a time. So I'm going to form this company. My first couple of shows are going to be this. This is how I'm going to finance them. And now I need a way for those shows to make money, unless I'm just financing this for purely the love of it.
Right.
So once you have that plan, then you can stick to that plan. Some people call it a blueprint. Now, the cool thing about television shows is there are models historically that have made millions and millions of dollars. But in the digital world, we can do the same as what we used to see on ABC, NBC, and Fox. And once you have that plan laid out, then you set out to execute that plan, understanding that most people are going to tell you no.
Right.
Right. But I don't listen to the no's because they're irrelevant to me. I'm just listening for the people who tell me yes,
Yes.
who get that vision and say, I will be a part of that with you so that you can be successful.
So I have a very real question. How often do you find yourself feeling discouraged, if at any point? And how do you recenter yourself and snap back?
Yeah. Well, some of it is track record. I've already built a bunch of other success. I shouldn't say a bunch, but at least 2 really successful businesses, right? So I know how to turn an idea into money. Success, as I always like to say, is a series of positive habits.
Yes.
People who are successful basically are doing the same thing
Routine.
over and
Over
over
and
and
over
over
again.
and over again. People who fail routinely, they're doing the wrong things over and over again, right? So once you kind of get accustomed to what your blueprint is,
Right.
you're just kind of slapping or overlaying that blueprint on that business. Now, sometimes I'm right and sometimes I'm wrong,
Mm-hmm.
but I take wherever it doesn't work out. That's the lesson.
Mm-hmm.
So let me try to walk in the other direction because I've already done something once that's very, very successful.
Right.
Now I just want it to be in the entertainment business. The problem is the entertainment business is constantly changing.
Yes,
Yep.
very dynamic.
So
Extremely dynamic, yep.
smartphones have changed the whole business.
Mm-hmm.
So those smartphones are like mini televisions.
Yes.
And that's how people get their content. And my job is to stick brands on that smartphone that pays for the program.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Totally,
Okay.
yeah. I was gonna say, like, speaking of dynamic markets, Hollywood is extremely dynamic.
Yes.
You know, so I'm curious with Hot in Hollywood, how
Yeah.
did you first think of that idea? How did you approach it? How did you execute it with
Okay.
that blueprint?
Great question. So the first thing is I'm not a genius, right? Because everything that has been invented has already been invented. I'm just going to take my little twist on it.
Mm-hmm.
So Hollywood news and gossip, people have been doing that for years. So at Hot in Hollywood TV, it's just a different package. It's an urban package.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to find out what's going on in gospel music,
Right.
we got you covered. If you want to find out what's going on with your favorite Latino celebrity,
Right.
we've got you covered because the mainstream doesn't do that,
Yeah.
right? If you want to see original rap programming, rap choreography shows, we've got you covered. Those shows aren't new, but you've never seen it on one streaming service with that worldwide global audience in mind. Do you get it?
I do.
Because the people who produce that kind of programming, typically Warner Brothers, Disney, they're not going to produce shows for the urban audience.
Mm-hmm.
So they've left a giant hole in the marketplace. And at Hot in Hollywood TV, that's what we fill.
How do you stay connected? How do you present relatable content to the target market that you were constantly trying to
Like tap into.
yes.
Mhm.
Yes, because I follow television trends. The reason most of these other streaming services are failing is because there's no diversity,
Mhm.
Right.
right? We don't want to watch, Bambi for the 11th time on some big name streaming service. Today's audience wants to see original programming
Mhm.
with people who look like them.
Right.
So you're both of Latin background, so you'll get this. Most of the world is black and brown.
Mhm.
Yeah.
In India, for example, is 1.4 billion people.
Mhm.
Where are the TV shows for them?
Right.
On their apps, right? Africa's a huge nation, but we look at a country like Nigeria, 198 million people who have cell phones. Where are the shows for them?
Right.
In Europe, they love gospel, they love rap, but
Yep.
the bigger companies aren't pushing that kind of programming. So they've
Mhm.
left a huge void for us to fill,
Mhm.
and they love everything that comes from America.
Right.
So when you study the marketplace, you realize most of today's programming is not for the black and brown people around the world. Now, don't get me wrong. White people love gospel too,
Mhm.
right? They love rap too,
Right.
but they want to see original shows. And that's what we do.
Mhm.
Wonderful.
Mhm.
We thank you so much.
Yeah, not
for-
Not bad. I mean, we think we can build a very
Yes.
successful business with that model in mind because we can service the whole world globally.
That's wonderful.
Mhm.
I love the culture that you are going for, and there's going to be so many people all around the world who appreciate you for it.
Well, I think so. I mean, if we do our jobs well, that'll certainly be the case.
That's right.
So I'm curious, looking back, we talked about your upbringing and how you saw these shows on Broadway that really inspired you. What if the 5-year-old Tyrone
Mhm.
looked at you now, what
Yeah.
do you think he would say?
He goes, God, you sound so smart. And I go, summer school paid off. So one of the
That
things I learned,
application got
Yes, that
reviewed and
applica-
accepted.
That
I never
application.
really filled out the application as it turned out, but somehow they let me in show business. So, I know, let them in. We can't. We just can't tell them no.
Mhm.
And I'll give you a quick little story.
Please.
My first off Broadway show in New York got me to this manager, which got me on television because I wound up getting a commercial,
Mhm.
which got me in the union, so on and so forth. So my manager at the time goes, there's this agent, I won't say his name, go Madison Avenue, interview with him. He can get you in more commercials. So I go there. My mother used to make me dress up at school.
Of course.
Like I couldn't wear sneakers and all that.
Yeah.
So I go
What, in
into
like a
this-
little suit or
Yes, I had to wear suits. I had to wear my school clothes, as we called it,
right now, little Tyrone.
and a trench coat.
Mhm.
oh,
So I
Oh, a
go
trench
into
coat.
this agent's office My manager.
I'm trying to picture this as he's explaining it.
Gadget.
I'm like a
Correct.
smaller version of him in a trench coat. Okay, got it.
And we couldn't afford the knapsacks. I had a bowling bag as a school bag. So I go up to this agent's office
And Darren,
and he takes me and he goes, "Are you Tyrone?" "Yes, you're my 345. Come on in my office." I take off my trench coat and then he goes, "Hang that up on the door." And I hang it up and he goes, "So you go to the High School of Performing Arts?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "What makes you think you can be in show business?" So I start off with all the newbie stuff. It's my dream, and
Right.
I've been to Broadway, and I know that's for
heart.
me.
Yeah.
And he's sitting there like this, right? And then he lets me go on for about 5 minutes, and he goes, "This is not for you." And I go, "What?" He goes, "This is not for you. Do something else with your life, but you're never going to be in show business." And then he gets up from his side of the desk, goes to get my trench coat, stands up, holds it like, "Get out."
Right.
And I'm putting my arms through the trench coat, true story. And he goes, "Good luck to you. This is not for you." Now, as I'm putting my arms through the trench coat, I swear to you, I'm going, and I just know this is for me. I can't think of anything else I want to do. He's like, He puts the coat, he picks up my bowling bag and he goes, "Good luck to you. Thanks for coming in." Now, this was on Madison Avenue. in
how
New York
old were
City.
you?
I think I was 17, 18. So as
Crushing.
I'm leaving, I go, "I think that went pretty well." This is what
Wow.
he didn't
That's
say,
the spirit.
"You'll never be successful in life." He says, "Just don't do the show business thing." I think I got a shot. I could not hear no.
Right.
love that,
You
actually.
took
What a great
all
lesson.
Of that negativity, and it went in. You decoded it.
Yeah.
Encoded
And it just didn't come out
positive
with
way.
what he said.
Hmm.
So I said, if I ever make it in this business, I'm going to thank him because he was the first big no. But he was only an agent. He wasn't a producer.
Yeah.
Right.
He
Who are
wasn't
you?
running the right. So you're just an agent in an office. So see, rejection is also how you perceive it, right?
Absolutely.
100%.
So I didn't realize that guy was like kicking me out of show business. Maybe he got my application. I don't know. But he was essentially
running joke,
kicking
yeah.
me
Right.
out of show business.
No.
And I couldn't hear. And now today,
If
hot in
anything,
Hollywood, right?
he propelled your journey in your victory
Mm.
because
Well, here's the thing. And it's interesting that you use the word propel. He was just irrelevant.
Mm.
I only saw success. So it's not, he didn't necessarily, I don't feel that he moved me forward. He was just irrelevant. To be negative in life takes no effort at all.
Mhm.
It's no skill. A 3-year-old could say no,
Yep.
Mhm.
right? But for someone to go, "I see where you're going. This is how you get there." If they help you with that, that is a skillful person.
Mhm.
Yes.
So what skill did this guy have to tell me this
That's true.
wasn't
Yeah.
for me?
He clearly was
Yeah.
going through something
Well,
that
I
day
mean,
and
But
decided
it was
to take
his
it out on-
opinion, right?
was
It's
his
like you
opinion.
respect that, but you
Correct.
move forward. And
correct.
speaking of moving forward,
Mhm.
with this, media mogul in the making mentality and manifesting it as a reality, what's the next thing for Tyrone Jackson?
Well, sometimes when you're manifesting, you're creating, you don't know the next thing.
Right.
So I
Say it
see a lot
again.
of people on TV who are just like, "I knew exactly where I'm going." I don't know exactly where I'm going. I have a sense of where I'm going. I
Mhm.
know the next 3 steps. I could tell you that.
Mhm.
Right.
So every day I just get up and I follow the next 3 steps
Yes.
because I'm creating a blueprint
Mhm.
that
Right.
didn't exist before.
And the direction and the gravitational pull.
Yes.
Where
And I
it's-
know that audience is there.
And that
Mhm.
should be enough
Yes.
for
Yeah.
people sometimes to move with faith and to trust if something is calling you. And sometimes you don't know how to explain it or what to
Just
think
it's
of
like
it,
a gut
but-
feeling. It's like, yeah, like you're saying, it's a gravitational pull. You just follow it.
And
Well,
it's
if-
undeniable.
If
Mhm.
you've studied the marketplace, you know there's a
Mhm.
void, or else we have 60 different gospel shows.
Yeah.
But we don't. But there's a whole world out there who loves gospel music.
Right. And so
right?
what's
Yes.
going on with them?
Exactly.
Correct.
And
You know,
we're
who-
ready to tap into them. So
Mhm.
thank you so much, Tyrone Jackson.
That's it. We're finished. I'm
stopping
done.
by
That-
Entertainment
that's
Up
my whole
Close.
time right there?
Yes.
I'll
Are
make
you
sure
kicking me out like the agent at this point?
No, we're thanking you so much for stopping by.
Yes,
You're
I'll
very
take a
welcome.
second look at your application and don't
We
call me, we'll
accepted
call
your
you.
application.
Yes, exactly. That's fair. Anyway, thank you for having me here. I
Thank you
appreciate
so
it.
much.
Thank you all so much for watching Entertainment Up Close.
Join your favorite late night host, Tyrone Jackson, as he sits down with today's most popular urban comedians who discuss the art of comedy on stage.
all y'all women, I would get you, but you know I'm already taken off the draft. You should have got me where I was cheap. Tell you, I was available. I was out there, all in the grocery store, just looking for love.
I just want to say, just right now, the show you've got
Right.
is incredible.
In every episode, you'll learn the history of hip-hop and R&B and how that sound, music, and genre changed the world forever.
I'm Chris Wilkes. I am a dancer and a choreographer. I've worked for Mariah Carey, Timbaland, Metro Boomin, MC Hammer. Hip-hop is a worldwide phenomenon because it's something that's so universal. It's pretty welcoming to people who are willing to learn about it.
At Hot in Hollywood TV, when we're on the red carpet, you're on the red carpet. And we have access to the biggest stars in the world, like Lenny Kravitz, Heidi Klum, Elton John, and more. Then there's the Urban Movie Review, where we take a look back in each episode of some of the greatest urban films ever made and frequently overlooked in modern cinema. Films like Cooley High, Shaft, and Cleopatra Jones.
Soundtracks go hand in hand with the script. Do you know what I mean? Even now, to this day.
They say I'm hopeless, like a penny with a hole in it.
Now you can join Dean Edwards and crew as they take you back to some of the greatest movies ever made for the urban audience. Also, there's The Sensual Woman. Then there's Gossip Queens.
All right, so I was traveling. I was booked to travel with a celebrity client. So I check in at the front desk, and they give me my room key and everything, right? So I go upstairs, I put my room key in and go to open the door. Lo and behold, look who's in my room.
What?
Yeah.
Then you can work out every week with celebrity trainer Venus Moore on Chocolate Soul.
Feels so good when my body is moving. So good. You're almost there, guys. Keep working. Got them timers up. Bam! 30 seconds.
Find out for yourself why Hot in Hollywood TV is one of the hottest new streaming services on the planet. So what are you waiting for? Start your free subscription to Hot in Hollywood TV right now.